My name is Jonathan. I'm with First Class Exteriors. Currently here at Mr. Brian Kelly's property in 6315 Still Spring Place, Alexandria, Virginia 22315. So the reason we're here today is because initially one slope was purposely bought to this roof by the insurance. The reason why one slope isn't ideal for this roof in particular is for a couple reasons. So let's say, for example, if this is the roof, the slope that was purchased, right? Replacing just the shingles on this end will affect the hips. As you can see here, we would have to replace the hips, obviously, which I believe is covered. However, in doing so, we will affect and we would cause significant damage to the slope on either on the rear, on the front, just because when we replace this, these are currently nailed to the shingles on the slope next to, and that will cause damages to the shingles there. So that will cause us to even repair the end on the opposite side of the slope that we're currently looking to replace, right? Another reason why it's not ideal is because per code, we would have to apply ice and water shield underneath this, on this valley here in particular, which will extend 12 inches on each side of each slope. So we would be looking at a total of 24 inches, right? So we would be practically manipulating the shingles to the slope on the other end. And let me chalk that up for you guys to paint the picture there. So we're looking at right here. So let's say this is the slope that's being replaced. So we would have to apply that ice and water shield onto this slope, causing us to again manipulate the shingles on the slope that we aren't replacing. Obviously that would affect us damaging the shingles just to try to apply obviously that ice and water due to coating. Now us applying, let's say this slope gets purchased, right, and that would interfere with the ridge caps along the hips there, which will affect the slope in front of it, and so on. It's pretty much just a pattern here. Again, it's all has to be done properly aligned per manufacturing as well. That way we install a proper roof for this homeowner. Also, so another problem that we run into obviously is also it is a discontinued shingle. As you can see here, it is a 37-inch shingle with an exposure of 5 inches. Now, if we install a new, this is a GAF shingle, let's say as a repair, for one, GAF shingle is longer than the shingle that's currently installed. You can see there is 39 and 3/8. That alone will affect installation of any potential repair. The roof, just because per manufacturer, at least GAF requires us to not cut any shingles down, especially when it's in between the slopes in the middle. Would have to apply the full shingle length in order to proper roofing installation without it causing leaks in the near future. Exposure 2 is also 6 inch. It's a 6-inch exposure. Once we install that shingle underneath it, nail strip line will end up being a little bit higher than the one existing, which will affect pretty much that whole area where we would be installing this 39 and 3/8 shingle, the rest of the roof. A repair isn't even feasible because of the fact that we cannot find the shingle that's on the roof because it's a discontinued shingle. Just any shingle now is created at a 39-inch length or above, which will cause problems to this roof here. So another thing is, if you try to cut this shingle to the length of the shingle that's existing, right? The problem with that is that these the ends are supposed to kind of stagger rather than align perfectly straight from one another. So if we were to cut it and it was to land right here, that will cause, if there's a nail here, that will cause leaks because the water does travel through the ends of the shingle here, and if there's a nail potentially there, that will cause a leak because it would obviously, water will penetrate through that nail and cause significant damage to the homeowner, plywood, the decking, drywall issues, installation damages to her attic. So that's another clear, evident reason for not being able to cut a shingle that's longer, just because it's not correct, and just manufacturer alone explains that it's not ideal just because of that fact, and they will void warranty for any roof if we were to do so.